So 2023 has started, 5v5 has ended, and 3v3 is once again coming up. This season is going to be a lot different than the past 3v3 or even the one before that because set 4 Datacrons have expired. Now that's not going to affect everyone. If you're a lower GP player, Datacrons aren't everywhere for you, but for me it's going to be way different. So without set 4, I'm not worried about super teams that if I can't kill them the first time or the second time, I'm just not going to clear them. I mean, there are still great teams out there, but I'm not as worried about one single team being Lord Vader, and just one normal character that became basically Galactic Legend, like Dash. Set 6 is very strong, but it's not as dominant as Set 4, as far as the mechanics go. So our philosophy is going to be similar. I go for offense first. That's how I determine what I'm using. You need to determine if you want to go heavy offense, heavy defense, or you want to tailor it specifically to each opponent. The last one takes the most work. I actually prefer heavy offense, especially in 3v3. I like to take a lot of Galactic Legends because if you face a Galactic Legend, it's harder to counter it with non-Galactic Legends in 3s just because you have less characters to work with per battle. Now, scouting your opponent is still important. You need to determine what they have and what they're likely to set in 3v3, although you got to take that with a grain of salt because the last time they set 4 was in play. So things are bound to change, like Lord Vader is no longer a defensive stalwart. It's probably going to be used on offense a lot more. So you need to decide what teams you are likely to face. Like I think Jedi Master Kenobi will be more common on defense now. And then you need to prepare counters for those. Like right here, I'm keeping Jedi Master Kenobi for either facing himself or for Jabba. But really, I mean, the Galactic Legends aren't a big part of this counter mentality because I just want to have them available for anything I see. And you also need to determine which Galactic Legends won't hold well for you. So for me, in my opinion, Lord Vader is going from almost unbeatable to kind of scrub almost. Not scrub, I mean, he's still good, but he's going to be easily countered since he's not just doing his AoE over and over and over again. He's less beatable in 3v3, so it might be worthwhile putting him on defense there, because Imperial Troopers, I don't think are going to wipe the floor with him in just 3s, but in 5s they can with set 6. And then you need to identify other classical offensive teams that get high banners but don't hold well on defense, so keep them for offense, definitely. And then if you prefer heavy offense, bring all your GLs, even if you don't have a counter in mind. So I already talked about that. So let's talk about my exact teams. I apologize for my voice, by the way. I'm losing it right now. So right here, I have Kylo Ren. He used to be what I'd go to for Lord Vader, but now he is a free agent. And I'm not sure who I'll have with him, if it'll be these tanks or if it'll just be Night Sisters. He might be my Malgus counter now. I don't know. Because I did set Rey on defense, so I would usually use her for Malgus, and if I face like General Skywalker and Malgus, probably going to want Sith Eternal for General Skywalker. So that leaves Malgus to deal with. And then the Jedi Master Luke team, I mean, I don't know if it'll go for Rey. I think this will just end up being an overkill team for a very strong non-Galactic Legend team, because it's kind of risky in 3s using him because he really benefits from having the whole 5. Jedi Master Kenobi, like I said, going to go for either Jabba or himself. He handles Jabba quite nicely in 3v3. I don't have the Scoundrel Datacron where it keeps Chrysanthemum dead, so that's unfortunate. I want one, but I just haven't been able to roll one. And then we got Lord Vader here. He's fallen from grace. I have them all split from him because I think the Terminator Datacron is going to make him a lot better on defense. So he's on defense right now. And Lord Vader could even end up being like a good solo machine. He might be the one I use for Rey, actually, too. It just depends. I'm kind of going into this like half-cocked. I'm not sure what is going to happen with set 4 gone. And then Sith Eternal, he doesn't change much. I mean, he either goes in by himself or he takes Watt. If it's General Skywalker, he's by himself, and then I have Watt left. I'm not sure what I want to do with Watt. but I need to find a use for him. Sometimes I've forgotten, and it's like, oh man, I really should use him somewhere. And then Star Killer. I am not playing around with Star Killer. I don't experiment as much with who he goes with, because I just love this team so much. This does have a chance to take out Ray still. Even without the cooldown reduction, it's not going to be as comical, just tossing the bomb over and over again. But the basics are really strong on this team. Mara Jade calls everyone else to basic, which is awesome. Emperor Palpatine himself just calls Star Killer. So you still get a lot of damage, even when you're just doing basics. And a lot of fun to use. So I'm keeping it on offense, and if I don't need it for Rey or something, I think it does do pretty well against General Skywalker, and it can take out a lot of other non-galactic legend stuff, and it's great for mirrors. And then Iden, I'm not sure how she'll do against CLS and 3s without grit, because exposed become a problem once again. But I think I'm probably going to use her because I was able to take out CLS teams pretty easily. With that, where I wasn't getting attacked as much. It was kind of, I'm getting out Commander Luke very quickly, so I'm going to keep that going. Or if I see him on Mothma, this will be great for that as well, or Wampa or something. And what's nice about 3v3 is I think I feel like I get a better use out of the First Order TIE Pilot on Omicron. With just 3s, there's less of a chance that they have a pre-taunting tank, and if there's a team that's just about speed and they're fragile, this team wrecks them. And so you just go with General Hux, he sends everybody, and they kill them. So I'm going to look for Datacrons with crit damage or offense. I'm going to put them with this team. I haven't been talking about Datacrons as much, but it's mostly just stats for a lot of these, like for light side, it's all stats. But like I'm using protection here. I'm gonna look for health there. Health on these guys. Protection up Datacron for Lord Vader should be great. Health and health steal. Damage and survivability. So it's just pretty simple stuff. And now Traya Omicron. I'm not sure, and no one's sure exactly how this is gonna work in 3v3, but I am looking forward to it, and I'm probably gonna use it for stuff that I might try Traya on anyway, but just Omicron will make it that much easier. I don't know about the Galactic Legend countering potential. In 5v5, I went against a Jabba with my trade team, and it got out everyone very easily except for Jabba, and then I timed out. So that's kind of what I was expecting, and I was able to clear up Jabba after that, but they kind of helped me out from a pickle because I didn't have really much else for Jabba. So this is an awesome Omicron. I'm really liking it. And classic Jedi Knight Revan, I don't have a specific counter in mind for it, but it's much better on offense, and I'm not necessarily married to this comp. With Jedi Master Luke, I mix and match Jedi a lot, depending on what a counter calls for and what certain comps show on swgh.gg, but I always check. If I have the chance, so I like this team. I think it's pretty good for sortie. Pretty good for a lot of stuff that's not Galactic Legends, but it's not Galactic Legend Killer. I just want health here mainly. None of these guys have good protection, and then offense would be good as well from set 6. Of course, Bad Batch, always useful, always offense. It's hard to know what stats to use for them. I mean, maybe survivability, but with them, usually you want them to go first, and then if the other team starts going a lot, you're kind of toast anyway. They don't benefit as much from crit damage because, the armor penetration's not a thing anymore, from crit damage because they're doing a lot of true damage. So offense might be a good stat to add for them. And then I got Newt Gunray with Jango and B1. I think this might work pretty well in 3s, because if I give them the turn meter Datacron, B1's going to go first. He's going to get rid of all the foresight, and then it's going to go pretty easily. I should be able to take out Qui-Gon. Anakin's going to freak out and not kill anyone, or he's going to kill Newt first till die, then come back, and then I can take them apart from there. So this is good for the Qui-Gon team. This hasn't really changed since set 4 expired, because that team doesn't use set 4 and this team doesn't either. Then Wampa, he still loves his protection up Datacron from set 5, and he can take out a good amount of stuff. I've been able to use him almost every match for a good long while, maybe over a month and a half or so, and I've been pleasantly surprised and happy about that. But one of the best GAC Omicrons in the game. And here's where I'm kind of confused what to do. I'm not sure what I'm doing with Darth Vader anymore. He's really fallen from grace as well. But I don't know, Geos or something. If I see something kind of weak, I'll overkill it with them. But I don't really want to put him with Lord Vader. He's not going to go with Palpatine because Starkiller is. I don't know. I need to experiment, and this is where I need to wait and see what I'm doing. Got some backup clones here. This is more of a cleanup team for me. I'm not putting them on defense. I think that's an easy Malik solo. And now I have actually 2 possible fully functioning bounty hunter teams. I'm not sure if this bottom one will be good for much because there's not that many debuffs, but Zam can boost the speed for Fennec and Bosk, and Fennec can help Bosk get his contract fast. But I finally have Aurra Sing because I finished all the Jabba requirements, and now I have her usable, and I can do what I see everyone else do all the time, which is get a quick contract for Mando and get it going like that. So I'm excited to using her in some capacity, but I'm not exactly sure what that will be this season. But this is flexible. I might just use 1 squad if needed, because I got a lot of squads here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I got 17 listed, and I got a couple more. Like I have Geos for offense if needed, and you only need 15 teams at least because there's 15 defensive placements. So you're definitely going to need more for offense anyway. You can only set your limit is 15 for defense, and in offense you can use more. But that's what I have for offense, and now let me get into defense. And here we are looking at my defensive board. I like looking at it this way to show people because it's easier and more graphic. But if you're facing me, don't take this as guaranteed that you're going to see it, because I scout my opponents and change based on that and what I see. So before I look at the actual comps, my defense advice has stayed the same. You want to craft unconventional teams your opponent might underestimate and put them in the front. I don't know if I really have too many of those this time, but I still advise doing that. You want to scout your opponent and determine what they have trouble with in 3s, although at the higher level in Kyber it's much different because Datacron set 4 is expired, so you might have to wait until the first round is over to get more reliable scouting data. And then set teams that are hard to deal with, no matter how well known, in the back. So for me, just to preview, I set Rey, Ben, and JTR because that is the best holding version of Rey, and in 3v3 Rey and Ben are much harder to deal with. You want to set strong teams with lower bandle potential, without a lot of protection recovery on defense, because they're great and they might win for you on offense, but they're not going to give you good banners in GAC, and they might be better at just taking banners from your opponent. And then also, strong teams you aren't sure how to use offensively, you want to put them on defense. For me, that's Grand Inquisitor right now, because I'm not super familiar with them yet. I did mod them to actually be usable. But what I'm going to do is, when I'm going through and attacking my opponent, I'm going to wait to see if there are instances where I'm like, oh, I wish I had him. And then I'll have a better idea of how I want to use him in the future. I'll bring on offense. And then if you prefer heavy defense, you can load up on Galactic Legends and top teams. Probably you want to stuff the front wall and prevent them from getting through it all if you can. Okay, so now for the actual comps. In the front, I got Dash, Rendar, Han, and Chewie. I still really like this squad, even though he doesn't get bonus turns constantly. And the Datacron I have for them, I have the Scoundrel basic ability. And, you know, it's better in the hands of a human because they know how to use it more. So what Han's going to do, he's going to basic, because he shoots first. He's going to get 100% turn meter. He's going to shrug, which isn't optimal. Or it might be, I don't know. He's going to shrug, Chewie's going to assist. He's going to get, like, I don't know, 50% turn meter or something. I don't know if it's different in 3s. Then he's probably going to go before anyone else again, and he's going to shoot his special stun, gain 100% turn meter, and then do 2 doubles again. So it's a lot of damage. I got some extra crit damage for him. Actually, a good bit of crit avoidance, which isn't, you know, it's going to help Chewie, but Han and Dash are already protected from crits. And I got some good defense. I mod Chewbacca differently than most people. I mod him for defense and protection because in PvP everyone goes for Chewbacca first. So I just do that. Let's get some decent defense. So yeah, I try to make him like the tank because even though he doesn't have taunt, he acts like that because people are going for him. And General Skywalker, putting him with Rex and 5s is the best lineup for him specifically. I went here for a mix of tenacity and potency, although that health could be better used elsewhere. I might change that up. And then Savage, Darth Maul, and Count Dooku with a Datacron that has a lot of defense and bonus turn meter at the beginning. So this is, I think it's gonna make Darth Maul go first. And he's gonna AoE daze. It's either gonna be that or Dooku, although I think he is weaker than Dooku. But I know this isn't gonna be a dominant team. It's not gonna like stop everyone, but it does get a lot of holds for me. So even though people know how to deal with it, it's just gonna draw something good. It's actually close between them. He might be the weakest, which is fine. But it's going to draw something good where otherwise Maul and Dooku aren't threatening. So it's going to come down to just Savage. If they underestimate it because these two characters aren't good, then that works out well for me. Let me just put myself over here. And then CLS, you know, I gave him some decent stats. He's got a lot of crit damage, a little bit of tenacity, some armor, potency, health steal. You can make use of all these, and the goal is to try to kill opponents before they can really get off the ground. And you know, I might just crush this, but I don't have a good use for this in mind on offense, so it's still staying on defense. And then Darth Revan, I still like keeping Sith Empire split. I don't like putting Darth Revan and Bastila with Malak because Malak can handle himself for the most part. Although I am going to keep an eye on my history. So they make good use of all these stats. They're getting extra turn meter from specials, which they have a lot of specials. 30% health is awesome on them. That crit damage is great. They're going to be dealing a ton of damage, although they get plenty of bonus damage on their own. And Bastila gives her and Revan like 70% health, so their health is going to be through the roof. You have to kill Bastila first, which people normally do anyway, but it's a little difficult. And then my top walls will show next. This is some stuff I used to have on the front bottom wall, but I think it's easy enough for people to deal with that it's not tripping them up, so move them to the top wall. I got the Inquisitors, and I got plenty of Inquisitor Datacrons, but none of the ones I actually want. Like, I don't have any R7s besides Grand Inquisitor. This was kind of like a leftover one. I gave them the bonus turn for when they fall below 100% health, because that is going to help them steal banners. Because I don't think this is going to get a ton of holds. Sortie, I gave them this Datacron, because, you know, I only have 2 Inquisitor teams and I have 4 Inquisitor Datacrons. So I gave her plenty of defense, some extra crit damage, and put her with BB-8 and T3, so hopefully I can get some initiative with them, some extra damage because of T3, and then steal some banners. Or better yet, actually win. For Radis, I gave him my Datacron with a lot more tenacity, because he already has super high tenacity, and it makes him like so annoying to deal with. Tons of armor. He's just a tank. And I'm going to go over in my territory battle video. I got one wave with him under CLS, and it was just him for like 6 minutes, and they couldn't kill him in wave 4, like the R8 zone. So it was crazy. Mine's 96,000 protection and health, tons of speed. He's just, I don't know, he's like a tank. 250% tenacity, so he's kind of difficult to deal with if you don't know what you're doing. And Grand Inquisitor, this is the one where we're going to see how things go. I think I want to change, I'm probably going to change this one because I want the 100% potency. Let me try to do that here. I want the, okay, I'm going to have to find it, but I want the one where it's like 100% potency for Inquisitors. So, hold on a sec. Here it is, much better. So yeah, that one is 100% potency for Inquisitors. In the start of each turn, dispel all buffs and inflict health down on enemies inflicted with Purge. So it's like constant buff dispel, which is awesome. Getting turn meter, which is great. Extra crit damage and offense helps because they really need extra offense because they're not packing a ton on their own. And then last I got Malgus. I got him with Talon and Marauder. Marauder is surprisingly hard to kill. He gets so much defense stacked. We got tons of armor on him, some health protection, which is great. And then there's extra speed and offense when people die. So what's his stats right now for me? I am pretty split between protection and health. Because he only gets that jump ability like once in a while. So I want protection good as well to keep him really difficult to kill. And then last character zone I got back here. We got General Group from the droids. They're gonna steal some banners. Get an extra turn meter to start off, and that's gonna be, I think, B1. So you might get something going, and then if they defeat an enemy, they get a bonus turn, so maybe Grievous will get a chain going there. Crit damage helps him. The offense is kind of wasted here, but I wanted this mechanic. Yeah, the offense doesn't help Grievous, and the others don't do a lot of damage. And then Rey, this is the one where, this is my only Galactic Legend on defense. Once I get Jabba, I'm probably going to keep him on defense all the time as well. She got extra health here, some armor, health, steal, crit damage, potency is pretty good for them. And I'm on my Rey for health. I don't really like offense for, I mean, I do like offense. I don't have a good enough set where it has plenty of health and offense too. So she has crazy high health pool. She's going to keep everyone alive. And her whirlwinds are the main threat anyway, and that's unaffected by offense. We got Bam here. Bam is no longer fated to stay on offense. Well, I don't know. I don't think I used him on offense in 3s anyway, but in 5v5 he's no longer tied to Rey anymore. So it's hard to pick the right stats for him. I gave potency for like Queel and IG-11, hopefully for those dots. Some health steal, good damage protection. Now that I think of it, he might be better with offense if I have anything good there. So let's just see. That is part of a stat too. I need to save this. 2% offense. Nah, he's fine. It's not worth dumping a bunch into that team. So if they have something for it, they do. If they don't, then they get stuck. This team I'm pretty happy with right now, actually. I don't have Jabba yet, but I have all these Hut Cartel unlocked. And I don't have Chrysanthemum's Zeta because I'm saving Zetas for Jabba. But I gave them a Datacron with a lot of potency. I don't like this level 6, but it's the best I could do. And they get extra turn meter if they're dark side. But what happens is Boba's leadership. Where is it? Bounty Hunter allies gain 15 speed for each debuffed enemy and gain max health equal to 50% of the total potency of all Bounty Hunter allies. So how that works is if they have like 400% potency, then they're getting plus 200% health. So we got 166 here. Boushh has a ton of natural potency. She's got 261, so we're already over 400 there. And then Chrysanthemum is decent as well. 149, so it's like almost 600% potency, so like plus 300% health. If they go in here with something that they're not ready for, it's going to be problems. And they're all Hut Cartel, so Boush's Deadly Bluff is doing more. They can't attack out of turn, so I'm interested to see if this gets hold. It holds. But lastly, we got Maul, and I hope that Nest doesn't work here still. But what happens is this Datacron, the way it's written, the weakest ally gains 20% turn meter for each dark side ally. So you need dark side allies there to generate the turn meter, but the light side can be the weakest and get it. So armor should go first here. I specifically modded her to be weakest. So she'll go, call massive assist, and inflict armor shred, and then everyone else will assist. Maul will get to go, and then Caners will do a special. So it'll be a whole thing. It'll be cool. I switched this one from Savage. They get tons of defense, some extra protection, and crit damage. Crit damage doesn't help them all, but protection does. And defense will make them pretty hard to kill. So I'm interested to see how that goes. And again, I might change this up before I actually start the attack phase. And then for ships real quick, I have the same that I've been using. I'm keeping my best fleets for offense, or the 2 meta fleets for offense, and Malevolence, Saturn Chimera, Negotiator, and Radis. I've actually won matches because I got holds with Negotiator when other players are doing the same. And Radis is a banner stealer. So that's it. That is my whole team setup. Let me know what you think. What are you using for 3v3? How do you think it's going to change now that set 4 is gone? I'd love to hear from you, and thanks for watching.